Hi, good evening,
Yeah,
friends. Um, I'm Shiv Kumar, also called Shivku, and with me I have Shashank. Shashank is a uh, very versatile faculty at CL and has been with us for a significant part of time and is cracked 99.9 percentile in 100 percentile in quite a few uh, CAT papers. What we will take you through today is the quant part of RT99 Headstart Round 2. Right? What does this mean for all of you for whom this is RT99 is a starter? I mean, this is the first RT99 session that you are attending. RT99 stands for Race to 99. Right? How do you best optimize your strategies to be able to hit that 99 percentile, right? What's the idea of a 99 percentile? Something that gives you great opportunity, great options of business goals, right? So it is a target that you must keep in mind while chasing your prep or the goals for CAT 2026. The Head Start round 1, which we did in the last um, month, right, was idea what the idea of RT99 is to kind of look at sample CAT papers across various years, which we think are representative papers that uh, give you a very good sense of how to crack the CAT paper, which also gives a variety of methods or to be able to illustrate varieties of methods uh, that you can use to optimize your scores in CAT. um, so we have picked up three papers. The first one was what we did in the month of Feb. We took the slot, right, of CAT 20 25, and now we are going to use the CAT 2026 2024 slot 3 to illustrate all that we talk about as techniques to crack your um, CAT paper. So before we start, I think get a sense of what CAT is, right? And this has been the last year's CAT paper. So we had verbal ability, we had 24 questions, all right? And each question was for 3 marks, obviously 72. Data interpretation and quantitative ability, both of them had 22 questions each, and every question is worth 3 marks. So we have got a total of 66 for each of the sections, and that in total makes it about 204 marks, and we got 2 hours to do it. This is what CAT is, the gist of CAT is, and this has been the CAT for the last couple of years. So you must keep this in mind that when we are talking about CAT 2026, what could it be? Very likely the same, because I think CAT doesn't change significantly, or even if there is a small change, it is going to be a very, very minor change, right? They're not going to drastically change or move away from this pattern. Okay, Shashank, you can go to them. So a quick recap of what we did in the last year's, I mean, the last round of Head Start, right? That's a Head Start one. We used the CAT 2025 paper, slot 3 paper, to take you through the process or thinking or a coaching to train you to think in a certain manner to crack your CAT quant paper, right? And there are a few things that I'm going to go back and kind of, it's a quick recap of what we talked about. The first thing that we said is you must learn, if you want to crack CAT, you must learn how to leave questions. So the idea of leaving versus solving a question, right? Even if I know should I solve is a worthwhile question to keep in mind, but the art of leaving is something that you must learn. So when we talk about the art of leaving, I think the it is like saying abandoning a question, right? You started off solving a question, and then you realize this is not something made for you. You must learn to abandon the question, right? Which means the quicker you take or lesser time you take to decide whether to do a question or not, the better it would be for you to optimize your scores, right? फंसना नहीं है. So questions that look easy but are lengthy sometimes could just be traps. So that's the first thing that we talked about. The second thing that we talked about is, you know, if you look at the point 2 as well as point 4, they mean they are more or less the same. If you manage out of 66 questions, we said that if you manage to get 10 to 11 questions right, or approximately about 50% of the marks, you're going to get 99 percentile in quant, right? It sounds funny for people who are not tuned to CAT as of now, right? Or you have not heard enough about what is the strategy to crack CAT. 50% in quant, which means 66 में से आपको 33 marks अगर आपको मिल जाएगा, you will find that you're going to be cracking a 99 percentile. This, I mean, it could be just 1 or 2 marks here or there, but this is like you could say the average performance that is expected of you to crack a 99 percentile. The third is, how do you choose to solve the paper? If you have not seen all the questions from question number 1 of the quant section to question number 22, right, it means that you have not optimized your strategy. So which means you should not come out of the exam hall and say, oh, I missed the 4 easy questions. तो ये important है, ये याद रखना कि अब whatever be your strategy, you should definitely look at all the questions. So one of the things that we suggest is, if you have a 3 round strategy, which means एक बार फर्स्ट राउंड इज डू ऑल द क्वेश्चंस जो आपको देखते ही मालूम है कि आप कर सकते हो, दैट्स राउंड 1. सेकंड राउंड इज जो आप जानते हो आप कर सकते हो लेकिन टाइम ज्यादा लगेगा, दैट इज राउंड 2. जो आपको, I mean, the ones that you're going to leave or the ones that you think is going to be difficult for you, you just have a inkling of an idea. कुछ हद तक आपको मालूम है कि कैसे करनी है. Those become your round 3. So if you're able to manage, if you think like doing thing in 3 rounds or at least 2 rounds, I think you will optimize your uh, attempts and you will come out of the exam all saying, I did all the things that I could. So that's a very, very critical strategy. The fifth point, right? Prepare for everything. Skip nothing now. Now you are in the month of March. आपके पास almost 6 months है. Sorry, 6 months कहाँ है, इससे ज़्यादा है, right? Close to about 8.5 months है, 8.5 months है, right? 8 months ले लीजिएगा. So if you have 8 months at this point in time, you should not sit on a judgment saying that arithmetic is all that comes, I will not do other topics, I'm not comfortable with other topics. ये बिल्कुल आपके जहन से आपको हटाना है. You're not going to stick to this thinking that I'm going to leave a few sections. For somebody who is in the month of July, starting this prep in July, I would have a very different advice. But for you now, who is watching this, I would say that please do not leave. We have seen last year, I know a lot of students who said कि अच्छा सिर्फ अरिथमेटिक करेंगे. ये जरूरी नहीं कि सिर्फ अरिथमेटिक में आपके सारे आसान क्वेश्चंस आएंगे. अरिथमेटिक के आप 7-8 क्वेश्चंस भी है, right? You will definitely find that 3-4 questions are a little tough. So you will trap yourself in this feeling that you're going well prepared by saying that I will only do arithmetic and numbers and leave everything else. Please do not do it. You've got enough time to work on it. So these are the 5 important things that you must keep in mind, right? So it's like a quick recap of what we did. Just to get you a overall picture of 2025 CAT, right? आपका जो first table on the left hand side is your scores, overall scores है. सेकेंड वाला जो है VARC है, थर्ड वाला जो है DILR है, और लास्ट जो टेबल है on the right most is the quantitative. So हम लोग I'll just stay focused on the quant now. So the ones that Shashank has circled up, please देखिए 99.5 percentile. 99.5 percentile मतलब there is only about 0.5 percentile of people who have appeared for CAT this year who have got more than 31 marks. Looks shocking. This is less than the 50% that we talked about, right? 66 marks में से 31 marks. Of course ये थोड़ा scale score है, ठीक है? तो when we talk about scale score, Joe, because there are three slots, right? All the slots are not of the same level of difficulty. There is a scaling that is done to bring all of them to the same level. So अगर पेपर एक स्लॉट में थोड़ा आसान था, उसको थोड़ा स्केल डाउन वो करते हैं, right? Which means मुझे 35 आ गया, हो सकता है कि when I get my scorecard, it will look like a 33, right? Because it is scaled down. If one of the slots is a tougher one, it will be scaled up. So you will find that scaling happens. So what we have here is a scale score. So if you ask me raw score क्या होगा, add plus or minus 2. आपका जो रेंज है +-2 इसी स्कोर्स के होंगे, राइट? एंड वो जो डिफरेंस है, एज यू गो लोअर डाउन वो डिफरेंस बढ़ेगा. एट द टॉप स्कोर यू विल फाइंड दैट इट विल बी +or -2 is will be the difference. So I can say very comfortably that somebody getting about between 17 to 13 marks in the last few cats has always been around those 90 percentile. And it is not very different कि ईयर टू ईयर बहुत ज्यादा ड्रास्टिकली डिफर नहीं होती है, थोड़ा बहुत डिफर होती है, बट दिस इज व्हाट वी हैव फॉर द लास्ट ईयर्स. सो less than 50 percentile got you 99%. Okay, now this is like scores versus percentile. I think this is more or less exactly same as what we had. So the leftmost is a 2025. The you see the 2024 cat was slightly easier when we say two questions easier. That's the way you should look at it, right? जिनका शायद people who got about 10 questions right and got a 99 percentile and would have got about 12 questions right to get 99.5 percentile in 2024, right? So अगर मैं 99 percentile को देखूं, 28, 34, 33, 35, right? 33.5, 35.5, ये सारे जो है, all of these are 22 questions in quant वाला paper, right? And if you look at the others, right, you suddenly see that big jump there. That jump is not because we had the papers were easy. It is just that you had 2020 was a 2-hour paper. That is when it shifted to a 2-hour paper. COVID के वजह से ये paper 20 वो पेपर बेसिकली शॉर्ट हो गया था. उससे पहले 3 घंटे का पेपर होता था. यू कैन सी 2020 में 26 क्वेश्चंस थे, 2021 में 22 क्वेश्चंस हो गए. तो इसीलिए जो आपका स्कोर्स है ना, द स्कोर्स दैट यू सी 99 percentile suddenly became 35.5 to 44. It is not because of anything else. It's just that when there are more questions, you will have more choices, more easy questions. So it became a little more easier. But the 2019 and 2018 had 34 questions. Those were the 3-hour papers, right? So after COVID, the papers became 2 hours, right? And they've continued that forever. They used to be, in the early days, CAT used to be a 2-hour paper, right? So you can see in general, you will always find that this percentage that you need to get, right, on an average to get 90 percentile will be around 50% of the maximum possible marks. Okay, Shashank, we can move to the next one. And that would mean, right, if you look at each of the papers here, right, CAT 20 से 25 से लेके आप 21 तक आप देखेंगे, arithmetic had about 8 to 10 questions, right? I mean 8, 9, 8, 9, 7, 10 out of 22 questions to, or say 26 questions in CAT 20. So it is about approximately about 40% of the paper. Approximately about 40% of the paper is arithmetic. And this has been consistent. ये हमेशा consistent रहा है, right? Of course, for example, you see 2019 वाला paper, 14 out of 34. 14 out of 34 is also close to about your 40%. 2020 में शायद थोड़ा कम हो गया, right? But 40% of the paper is what you will find is the arithmetic. Algebra will be anywhere between a little, I mean, shade lesser or almost equal to what you find in arithmetic. So, आप questions भी देखोगे, it is ranging, right, from
slot to slot.
Yeah, so it is mostly, I mean, if I were to say कि क्या expectations होनी चाहिए आपको, मैं तो कहूंगा कि thumb rule ले रखिए between arithmetic and algebra, that will constitute about 75% of your paper, right? Equally split between the two or just a little up or down between the two. So this algebra को छोड़ना ही नहीं है, right? And ऐसी नहीं है कि हम algebra को, we are talking about high funda algebra छोड़ना ही नहीं है. Then you have geometry mensuration, and that's typically about 10% of the paper, and numbers, right? So will also be about 10 odd percent. And modern maths हम लोग कहते हैं उसको कि where you have probability, permutation, combinations, and set theory. We call them as modern math. Set theory, remember, it comes not only as a part of your data interpretation but also as a part of your quant. So broadly, this is what the CAT papers is. So the trend wise, it doesn't change much. So if you think कि अगले वाला कैट कैसे होगा, अगले वाला कैट भी मोर लेस ऐसे ही होगा तो very very minimal difference in the paper. Okay, Shashank, we can, and इसमें टॉपिक्स भी देखेंगे हम. We have just kind of looked at the cat, right? If you look at the arithmetic part is about 40%, right? And इसमें जो टॉपिक्स जो है आप देख रहे हो, TSD, time and work, right? These are, and then profit and loss, averages, mixtures and allegation, ratios, right? तो it is like saying कि मगर मैं TSD मैं थोड़ा ठीक ठाक कर लूं, TSD and work, that's about 11% of the paper. तो अगर अगर मैं इन दोनों को अगर देखूं, right, on an average you'll find that there are uh, probably about, I mean, let's say 12%, 11%, 10% भी ले लीजिएगा, right? So 66 में आपको definitely you'll find about anything between 6 to 9 marks
6 months.
only in these two topics, right? 6 to 9 marks only in these two topics, right? Similarly, profit and loss is a concept of percentages, averages, profit and loss and averages is close to about 10% of the paper. तो अगर आप इन दोनों टॉपिक्स को अगर मास्टर करोगे, we are saying that this itself, these first four topics are going to give you, fetch you anything from 10 to 20%. So I am not saying that every question that comes here you will crack it, but I think this is the way you must look at it. So this is this gives you a sense of what are the important topics जिसको आपको करना ही है, right? I mean, you can't say कि मैं skip कर रहा हूँ. तो then algebra, quadratic, sequence and series जो आपके क्लास 10 से पहले हुआ है, sequence and series क्लास 10 से पहले हुआ है, logarithms you can say कि अच्छा क्लास 11th and 12th, linear equation देखिए about 5%, that is class 10 से पहले हुआ है, right? And if you kind of look at these three, so for those who are thinking कि algebra is tough, I'm going to leave it. 17% of the paper is just these three. So you will find that it is critical for you to not leave algebra. You will not leave. There are some parts of algebra that you will say कि कितना भी करूं मैं समझ में नहीं यार, you please leave it, not otherwise, right? So this is algebra, and these two have the biggest chunk. They're close to about 70% of the paper. And the next one is geometry, right? Geometry in the previous years used to have more and more questions. Nowadays, if I look at geometry, you will find probably about 2 questions or 3 questions of geometry. इससे ज़्यादा आती नहीं है, right?
In last,
And जो
I think,
आते हैं,
in last 3-4 years, it has been constant at 3 questions, not more,
correct.
not less.
हाँ, 3 questions of geometry, and हो सकता है कभी कभी एक mensuration वाला हो, बाकी 2 plane geometry का हो. But when we are thinking geometry, we are mostly thinking two-dimensional planar geometry. And इनमें इनका favorites है triangles और circles, right? Triangles and circles, and the next one would be some quadrilateral or polygon. So you find that it is important for you to master these concepts, and the theorems, the fundas that you need to learn is not much, right? So this gives you a sense of geometry. And then modern maths will be about, I mean, number theory is about 8%, right? And basic ideas of factors, LCM, HCF, right, remainders, these are the things that you need to know, right? And modern maths is what we say as permutation combinations. हर बार एक क्वेश्चन तो आता है, and normally क्वेश्चन जो है आपको बहुत हाई फंडा परमुटेशन कॉम्बिनेशन नहीं चाहिए टू सॉल्व द क्वेश्चंस. So it is important, I would say, that for those who think that, oh, permutation combinations class 11th and 12th, when I did it, I didn't find it easy to do. Remember, the first few pages of what you studied is what will be covered in CAT. Very simple questions, right? So I feel that it's important for you to. So this kind of tells you that you must cover all the topics at this point in time.
In set theory, generally people prepare for LRDI itself. So basically, in quant, that is a subset of that concept. Probability is at zero.
So before we jump into now solving the paper, now what we're going to do is solve the entire paper and tell you and discuss with you क्या नॉर्मल तरीका है, क्या तरीका है आप चॉइस को देख के आप कर सकते हो, उस इसको हम जुगाड़ कहते हैं, राइट? व्हाट इज द जुगाड़ शॉर्टकट वे ऑफ सॉल्विंग लुकिंग एट क्वेश्चंस? एंड आई थिंक इट इज इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर यू टू imbibe these habits of looking at choices, right? To be able to say with confidence that कि अब 4-5 क्वेश्चंस तो आराम से कर ही लेंगे. इनफैक्ट 4-5 क्वेश्चंस अगर आप जुगाड़ यूज करोगे 10-12 मिनट में ही खत्म हो जाते हैं, right? And you look at this, if to just make you understand, this is like slot A, slot 3, one of the papers, right? Not every paper will have the same sequence of topics, remember, right? I mean, what I get in the paper sequence might be different from what you get in the paper. So this is one of those. So you'll find that you see the modern maths, the first question was modern maths, one of the easiest. Those people, many people did not attempt the paper, right? That red dot is basically telling you attempts, right? About 17% of people attempted this question, but 70% of those who attempted got it right. So which means paper question asan tha, and it is figures among the highest four uh, accurate questions in the paper. Or you will find that there are questions that जिनको लगता है कि अच्छा अरिथमेटिक इज आसान है, so let's take a question which has got, let's say, the second red, that red bar. You see the attempts are about close to 50%. Only about 30% have got them right. So there are not there. It's going to be a choice that you need to do, right? Some of the questions are easiest, right? Uh, but they might be easy, and also people have attempted and got them right. There are some people have attempted, low attempts are there, but they were very easy questions. There are some questions which could be traps, where people took a long time, they thought it was easy, and they ended up getting right. Maybe that question of that algebra 4%, there are two possibilities, right? One possibility is that it's a trap question. The second possibility it's a नॉन एमसीक्यू. लोग तुक्का लगा के सोचते हैं कि हमने अटेम्प्ट कर लिया. तो जब भी हम कहते हैं कि 11 अटेम्प्ट्स है या 10 अटेम्प्ट्स है, रिमेंबर दीज आर 10 सीरियस अटेम्प्ट्स दैट यू शुड लुक एट, राइट? ये नहीं है कि आप तुक्का मार के आ गए हैं और उसको काउंट कर रहे हैं आप अपना अटेम्प्ट. प्लीज डू नॉट include that as a part of any random wild guessing. Is not your attempt, right? You didn't spend any time, you don't deserve marks for it. If you get marks for it, you're lucky, right? So that's broadly what the introduction to the session is, right? And now we'll jump into the paper. So strategy round QA का क्या है? 3 rounds है, right? And round 1, see, अब आपका जो time है, right? You must always look at it like this. If I have to solve 10 questions, right? I must definitely, there must be questions that I would solve, because average time is about 3.5 minutes, right? I mean 10 questions करने के लिए 40 minutes. 40 minutes मान लीजिए, but there is a little bit of leakage of time एक question से दूसरे question solve करने का. मैं तो यही सोचूंगा कि मेरे पास सिर्फ 37-38 minutes है. So if I'm attending 10 questions or 11 questions, on an average you have got about 3 minutes per question, right? Some will be less than 3, some will be more than 3, right? So average is about 3.7, 3.8, means some will be less than 3, 3.7, 3.8, some will be more than 3.7. So your choice, if you have very judiciously chosen questions that you will do in round one, which means आप पांच छह questions आप identify कर लिए जो round one में कर सकते हैं, which is like saying आपका पहला round जो है, it should be done in the first 20 to 25 minutes, right? Attempting about 6 to 7 questions. If you are able to manage to do it, I think you will definitely find that you are in a better position to because 25 might also be a little high. I mean, depending on how many easy questions that you find, but normally you will find about 7 to 8 easy questions in the paper. 7 to 8 जो हर आदमी कभी ना कभी किसी न किसी मॉक में या किसी न किसी प्रैक्टिस एक्सरसाइज में देखा होगा. ऐसे हो ही नहीं सकता कि the paper would not have this 6 to 7 questions that can be termed as damn easy. Your job is to find them, do it in the round one. Round two is to kind of get to the next level जहाँ पे आपको you know how to do it, but it's going to take you a little time. That's my round two. And round three is not to be attempted. Well left. जैसे वो सचिन तेंदुलकर का वो, if you remember the Sydney innings 241, you may not, probably I think many of you would have been kids then, right? 241 ka he scored. He did not hit even one shot that was a cover drive, which was his favorite shot then. सब well left, well left, well left किया है, and he cracked 241. So I think it's important to know कौन सा well left करनी है. The danger will be सब सारे well left वो नहीं होना चाहिए, right? Round one and round two में कुछ तो आपको पकड़ना चाहिए. So that's from me. Uh, I think 20. So let's, Shashank, jump into. So what we are going to do now is slot 3 quant section. Okay.
So basically, we are going to solve all 22 questions and we are going to see which questions we can solve in round one and what should be the approach of those particular questions. So, हर क्वेश्चन में जुगाड़ लगेगा ये डेफिनेटली पक्का है कि नहीं होगा ऐसा. It's not possible to use जुगाड़ in all 22 questions, but more likely you are going to find 6, 7, 8 or maximum of 9 questions where you can use जुगाड़ and get the answers very quickly. So first of all, if we are going to look at question number 1, the number of all positive integers up to 500 with non-repeating digits. अब ये वाला जो question है, this is Gaurav, I'll be coming to that question. देखो पेपर स्टार्ट होने में कुछ समझ में नहीं आता है. नाउ आई वुड से दैट्स नॉट अ नॉलेज इशू, दैट्स मोर और लेस दैट इज एंजाइटी इशू. कि मतलब पेपर खोला. सो बेसिकली व्हाट हैपेंस जनरली कि क्यूए में द रीजन पीपल अंडर परफॉर्म इन द सेक्शन ऑफ क्यूए इज बिकॉज they have already written two sections. One is VA, second is DILR. Both are tiring sections, and after that you get into QA, you are already a little bit tired. So it's fine. लेकिन फिर भी getting 10 questions, 11 questions or 12 questions right in the exam, I don't think that is going to be ever tough task. Just be calm-headed. ठीक. Always use, there is a tab called question paper tab. You just click on the question paper, you are going to see all the questions simultaneously and start solving those questions. Just look at the question and start solving. Number of all positive integers up to 500 with non-repeating digits. अब ये वाला जो क्वेश्चन है, if you look at the accuracy, if you understand the basic PNC, you are definitely going to get the questions. If I'm going to solve this question is going to be very easy. You can solve it in 2 minutes. क्या इसको हमें करना चाहिए? हाँ, क्योंकि बहुत ही बेसिक क्वेश्चन है. सो सिंगल डिजिट के, सो अप टू 500, और क्वेश्चन में कहीं नहीं लिखा है कि 3 डिजिट का नंबर चाहिए हमें. सो इसका मतलब नंबर तो 1 डिजिट का भी हो सकता है, 2 डिजिट का भी हो सकता है. तो 1 डिजिट के कितने नंबर होंगे? तो 1 डिजिट के तो 9 नंबर होंगे, 1 to 9. 2 डिजिट के कितने नंबर होंगे? सो 2 डिजिट के डिस्टिंक्ट डिजिट के नंबर चाहिए. So basically, at first place, how many possibilities we got? 9 into 9. And at next place, how many possibility we got? 9. क्योंकि पहले प्लेस पे 0 नहीं आ सकता, दूसरे प्लेस पे जो डिजिट यहाँ पे आ गई वो नहीं आ सकती. So total are going to be 81. अब we are going from 100 to 500. ठीक है. So at first place, how many possibilities we got? 4. Either 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. At next place, how many possibilities we got? अब जो डिजिट यहाँ पे आ गई वो यहाँ पे नहीं आएगी, so 9. और यहाँ पे कितना आएगा 8. सो अब हमारा काम क्या है कि दिस 1 डिजिट नंबर प्लस 2 डिजिट नंबर फिर 3 डिजिट नंबर. सो 72 into 4 is going to be 288. अब हमें बस इसको ऐड करना है. तो 90 plus 288 comes out to be 378. तो इसका आंसर आएगा इतना. Now, can you solve this question in the exam? Yes. Should you solve this question in the exam? Yes. Because it is definitely not going to be a difficult one, because these kind of questions I think everyone has practiced a lot. So ये वाले क्वेश्चन छोड़ने का कोई मतलब नहीं बनता. क्या इसमें
और
कोई जुगाड़ नहीं?
इसमें इसमें अगर अगर अब मैं सोचूं कि अच्छा मॉडर्न मैथ्स सेट थियरी मुझे नहीं आता है, ये सॉरी परम्यूटेशन कॉम्बिनेशंस मुझे नहीं आता है, you must realize ki this is the first thing that you will learn in permutation combination, the fundamental principle of counting, right? तो ये जो I think ये almost like saying पहला पन्ना, ये जो क्वेश्चन है 3 मार्क पहले पन्ने वाला परम्यूटेशन कॉम्बिनेशन आएगा. so which is why I'm saying कि जरूरी है आप सारे टॉपिक्स अभी पढ़ने की कोशिश करें.
ये कॉम्प्लिकेटेड नहीं था ना दिस क्वेश्चन. अब यहाँ पे अगर हम इस क्वेश्चन की बात करें, सो व्हाट शुड बी द अप्रोच. नाउ इफ यू सी द अटेम्प्ट आर 38% बट एक्यूरेसी इज 50%. सो लेस देन जो 100 लोग पेपर दे रहे हैं उसमें से केवल 19 पीपल गॉट इट राइट. नाउ is that question actually that difficult? So let's see. So basically what I am going to do, I am going to open the square on the left hand side. So I am going to get a square plus 3b square, root 3 का स्क्वायर हो गया 3 plus into b square plus 2 root 3 into ab. Now what does it gives me? It is going to give me 52 plus 30 root 3. ठीक है. अब मैं सिंपली बस इतना कर रहा हूं कि कोएफिशिएंट कंपेयर कर रहा हूं. इसका मतलब दिस वैल्यू शुड बी इक्वल टू दिस. सो आई कैन से 2 root 3 is equal to, sorry, 2 root 3 ab is equal to 30 root 3. ठीक है. root 3 कट गया, यहां से आ गया 15. So what I am going to get? I am going to get a into b is equal to 15. अब दो पॉसिबिलिटी हो सकती है कि either 1 into 15 or it can be 3 into 5. Now, what question is saying? What is the value of a into a plus b? So 1 plus 15 is 16. 3 plus 5 is 8. Now, can 16 be the answer? नहीं, क्योंकि option में ही नहीं है. Can 8 be the answer? That must be the answer because there is no other possibility. So, can we solve this question without doing a lot of stuff? No. Simple left hand side पे square खोलना है और answer hand to hand वही आ गया. So if I have to,
अगर आपको डाउट है तो इसमें डाल दीजिएगा b is equal to 3 और a is equal to 5 और चेक भी कर लीजिएगा चाहिए तो. बट जो नेचुरल नंबर्स हो ही नहीं सकता. आपको कुछ करने की जरूरत ही नहीं है. यही तो जुगाड़ होती है कि हाउ डू यू सेव टाइम, राइट? 1 plus 15 नहीं है चॉइस में. 15 आई मीन 10 से कम है सारे चॉइसेस. द ओनली चॉइसेस 3 and 5. So looking at choices as a part of the paper is, I think, super important.
And the most important part of jugaad, if you are not reading the options before picking up paper and pen, more likely you end up solving the complete question. So let's start the next one. So after 2 successive increments, गोपाल की जो सैलरी है वो 187.5 है. ठीक. So if the percentage of salary increase in the second increment was twice the first increment, then what is the percentage increment in the first one? ठीक है. So what this question is saying कि यहाँ पे 100 था, यहाँ पे increment हुआ, कुछ a% का increment हुआ. Now his salary becomes something. Now again he got 2% increment. Now his salary become 187.5. ठीक है. So अब इस पे अगर हम सक्सेसिव चेंज का फॉर्मूला लगाएंगे या परसेंटेज का कुछ वो करेंगे, सो दैट इज गोइंग टू टेक अस अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम. नाउ इफ यू सी अटेम्प्ट इज 18%, while I consider this question is going to be extremely easy because this is a part that where everyone can write this part. This is not a difficult one. Now what I am going to do, I am going to solve this question. मैं पहले इसको तो हटा दूंगा क्योंकि मुझे नहीं लगता कि आंसर हो सकता है. So I am going to start with 20 because 20 is a very easy number for me. So I got 100, 20% increase, it has become 120. Now it is 2% means 40%, 40% means 48. तो वैल्यू हो गई 168. नाउ इट इज लेसर देन 187.5. इसका मतलब ये तो आंसर नहीं है. नाउ व्हाट आई एम गोइंग टू डू, अगर मैं 30 लूंगा, 30 पॉसिबल नहीं है क्योंकि ये 30 होगा, ये 60 होगा, तो दोनों का सम ही 90 है, तो ओवरऑल वैल्यू 187 से तो बहुत ज्यादा, तो ये नहीं होगा. नाउ आई एम गोइंग टू बी कंफ्यूज्ड बिटवीन दिस एंड दिस. ये लेने का कोई फायदा नहीं है. इफ आई एम गोइंग टू पिक दिस, अगर आंसर इस पे मैच करता है देन आंसर इज 25, अगर मैच नहीं करता है तो 27.5. सो व्हाट आई एम गोइंग टू डू, 100, 25% इंक्रीज हैज बिकम 125. अब 50% होगा बिकॉज 2% है, तो इंक्रीज इज गोइंग टू बी 62.5 एंड दैट विल बिकम 187.5. Am I getting the answer right? Yes, that is going to be option 1. So क्या इस क्वेश्चन में हमारा काम इक्वेशन बनाना होना चाहिए था, नहीं होना चाहिए था? इसीलिए आई वुड से दिस इज डेफिनेटली गोइंग टू बी अ राउंड 1 क्वेश्चन बिकॉज यू कैन सॉल्व दिस क्वेश्चन विदाउट मेकिंग एन इक्वेशन.
तो इसमें एक और पॉइंट है शशांक. आई थिंक हमें मालूम है कि 30 तो हो ही नहीं सकता, है ना?
30 नहीं हो
तो आपके
सकता.
पास 20, 25, 27.5, बीच वाला जो है 25 है. लेट मी स्टार्ट विथ 25. अगर ये वैल्यू जो है 25 से, अगर मानो कि 187.5 से
187.5
ज्यादा
से ज्यादा.
होता तब आंसर 20 होता. अगर 187.5 से कम होता आंसर 27.5 होता. So I just
So
needed to probably check with only one of the answers, that is 25.
25, राइट. सो उसमें हमको बाकी ऑप्शंस भी चेक नहीं करने पड़ेंगे. सो यस, आई शुड स्टार्ट विद ऑप्शन 1 ओनली. नाउ दिस वन, देयर इज एन ऑक्टागन. सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल ये पता होना चाहिए कि किसी भी रेगुलर फिगर के एंगल्स कैसे निकालते हैं. सो बेसिकली I would, how would I calculate the internal angle of any polygon? So basically, sum of external angles is always 360. Sum of external ones is 360. तो यहां से मैं सीधे इंटरनल का निकाल सकता हूं बिकॉज सम ऑफ सारे, अब ऑक्टागन है, सो हाउ मेनी एक्सटर्नल एंगल्स आई एम गोइंग टू हैव, आई एम गोइंग टू हैव 8 एक्सटर्नल एंगल्स, राइट? सो sum of 8 external angles is 360. So what is one external angle? That is going to be 360 divided by 8. So that comes out to be 45. So external angle is 45. So internal angle is going to be 135. So this is the important part. अब बहुत सारे लोगों को ये याद भी होता है कि एक ऑक्टागन का इंटरनल एंगल क्या होगा, लेकिन अगर आपको नहीं पता है then this is the approach to calculate internal angle of any regular polygon. Sum of external angles is 360 and that is always constant irrespective of number of sides. Number of sides 3 है, number of sides 5 है, number of sides 20 है, sum of external angles will never change. Now I'm going to write down the names A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. ठीक है. Now I need to calculate the area of A, C, E, G. इस स्क्वायर का एरिया चाहिए. ठीक है. So basically what is the area of the square? That is going to be area of side square. So basically मुझे side चाहिए. Now it is saying the side length is 6. So this is 6. This is also 6. अब जो ट्रायंगल कंडीशन होती है उसमें मुझे ये बोल सकते हैं कि ये 6 है, ये 6 है, तो बेसिकली ये जो साइड होगी AC होगी, ये 12 से डेफिनेटली छोटी होगी. सो आई कैन से दिस इज डेफिनेटली लेस देन 12. ठीक है. अगर मैं इसको ऐसे मान लूं कि ये जो है ये 90 डिग्री ही है, तो ये 6 है, ये 6√2 है, तो ये 6√2 हो जाएगी. 6√2 is going to be what? This is going to be how much? 6√2 is going to be 8.5ish around. So basically ये जो लेंथ है 8.5 से बड़ी होगी और I would say this length is going to be approximately 10 क्योंकि उससे 8.5 से बड़ी होगी और 8.5 से reasonably बड़ी होगी और 12 से छोटी होगी. So approximate value of AC comes out to be what? That is going to be 10. So स्क्वायर का जो एरिया होना चाहिए that should be close to 100. 100 से थोड़ा बहुत ऊपर, 100 से थोड़ा बहुत नीचे. And this is what I can do in this question. अब मैं यहाँ पे इसकी वैल्यू √2 की वैल्यू डालना शुरू करता हूँ. So 36 into 3.4, 100 से थोड़ा बड़ा आ रहा है, बहुत बड़ा तो आ नहीं रहा। 36 इंटू 2.4, ये तो 100 से काफी छोटा है, मतलब ये तो नहीं हो सकता। 72 इंटू 2 प्लस रूट 2, ये भी पॉसिबल नहीं है। 71, ये तो 100 से बहुत बड़े हैं। तो इसका मतलब आई एम गोइंग टू गेट माई आंसर, दैट इज गोइंग टू बी ऑप्शन 1, एंड दैट इज प्योर अप्रोक्सीमेशन। Shivku sir, you would like to add something to this?
Yeah, I think the moment I understand that the answer has to be the value of AC has to be less than 12, right? अगर वो जो एंगल जो B है वो 180 डिग्रीज होता, then AC would have been 12, right? अगर वो जो एंगल B है 90 डिग्रीज होता है, it would have been around 8.5 के आसपास। इनफैक्ट अब आप उसको थोड़ा और बढ़ा रहे हो ऐसे, इसका मतलब ये जो वैल्यू है 8.5 से बड़ा होगा, सो 10 के आसपास होनी चाहिए एस्टिमेट, ठीक है। सो इनफैक्ट यू विल फाइंड दैट दैट इटसेल्फ विल वेरी क्लियरली से कि आपका जो आंसर है वो 100 के आसपास होनी चाहिए। इन सब चॉइसेस में आप देखोगे, राइट, choice 3 and choice 4 तो it makes it very big, right, much for example choice वो choice 4 is 140 के ऊपर है, छोड़ दो, which means choice 3 भी छोड़ दो, तो आपका बचा है choice 1 and choice 2 जो है that value is 36 into 2.4, right? That's less than, much less than, I mean close to about 90. So estimation is important here. Many times geometry में अगर estimation ठीक से हो जाएगा आपका आंसर ठीक हो जाएगा।
पूरा सॉल्व करने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी। आई वुड से कि ये जो क्वेश्चन है, इफ आई एम गोइंग टू डू दिस, आइदर आई एम, इफ आई अंडरस्टैंड दिस कंसेप्ट, आई एम गोइंग टू कीप इट इन राउंड 1। अगर नहीं समझ में आएगा, इफ आई अंडरस्टैंड कि कैसे करना है, लेकिन ये शॉर्टकट अब जुगाड़ नहीं समझ में आ रहा, देन आई एम गोइंग टू पुट इट इन राउंड 2। अदरवाइज ज्योमेट्री वीक है, देन आई एम गोइंग टू गो फॉर राउंड 3। So if I don't understand what this question is talking about, I'm not very comfortable with octagon, then it is going to be round 3. अगर आपने octagon के already कुछ क्वेश्चन सॉल्व किए हुए हैं and you don't understand that what is the जुगाड़ in this, then I'm going to go for R2 in this question. अगर जुगाड़ समझ में आ
ठीक है, अगर ज्योमेट्री ठीक है तो कोसाइन रूल से सीधा आ जाएगा वो। हाँ, AC squared is equal to AB squared plus BC squared, right? अगर आपकी ज्योमेट्री ठीक है, this again also will become a round 1 question.
This one. Now this is the question I'm very much surprised that why people got it very wrong, because less than out of 100, less than 10 people have got it right. Now this is the problem, लेकिन ये question difficult नहीं है, and why I'm saying that I don't consider this question as difficult, because there is nothing to do. 3 power a is 4. So first of all you need to understand this concept कि ये जो question है कि what is the value of product ABCDEF, this value has to be integer. कुणाल, अच्छा ठीक है कुणाल, why I can say it is going to be closer to 1, क्योंकि देखो अगर मैं राइट एंगल ट्रायंगल बनाता हूँ, ठीक है, तो ये जो साइड है ये 6 है, ये 6 है, ये 6√2, इट इज गोइंग टू बी अप्रोक्सीमेटली 8.5,
राइट, थोड़ा बड़ा कर दो स्प्लिट।
हाँ, अगर मैं यहाँ पे इसको ये ले लूं 120 डिग्री, ठीक है, तो ये लेंथ आपकी 10 से डेफिनेटली बड़ी हो जाएगी, ग्रेटर देन 10, और अगर 135 कर दो तो 10 से तो और बड़ी हो जाएगी। सो बेसिकली ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड दिस। कुणाल देखो 90 डिग्री साइड कुछ हुई, जैसे जैसे तुम इसको एक्सटेंड करते जा रहे हो, बाहर की तरफ लेते जा रहे हो, डोंट यू थिंक दिस साइड इज गोइंग टू रीच क्लोजर टू 12? इज इट और इज इट नॉट? डू यू एग्री विद दिस? 150 पे तो और बड़ी होगी, 160 पे इट इज गोइंग टू बी क्लोजर टू 12 ओनली, 11 के आसपास पहुंच जाएगी। डू वी एग्री ऑन दिस?
ठीक है।
नाउ दिस वन 3 power 4 इज a, ठीक है। अब ये वाला क्वेश्चन, व्हाई आई एम सेइंग दैट दिस क्वेश्चन, आई एम नॉट कंसीडरिंग दिस क्वेश्चन एज डिफिकल्ट वन, बिकॉज दिस इन दिस क्वेश्चन देयर इज नथिंग टू डू। And why not? Because 3 power 4 is 3 power a is 4, 4 power b is 5. So what I am going to do, मैं 4 को सीधे 3 power a लिख देता हूँ. तो 3 power a power b, and that is going to become 5. So 3 power ab is equal to 5. The basic property of indices. ठीक है. अब यहां पे बोल रहा है 5 पावर सी 6, तो इसका मतलब 5 की जगह मैं 3 पावर ए बी लिख देता हूं, उसकी पावर सी जो है दैट इज इक्वल टू 6. सो 3 पावर ए बी सी इज इक्वल टू 6. तो यहाँ पे अगला स्टेप लिखने की जरूरत भी नहीं है. 3 पावर ए बी सी डी एंड दैट्स इक्वल टू 7. 3 पावर ए बी सी डी ई इज इक्वल टू 8. आई एम जस्ट कीपिंग ऑन प्लगिंग इन, कुछ नहीं करना है. A, B, C, D, E, F, and that is equal to 9. And 9 is equal to what? 3 square. इसका मतलब base is same, then power should be equal. So what should be the value? That should be 2. Just ये वाली 4 को इससे रिप्लेस कर दो, 5 को इससे रिप्लेस कर दो, 6 को इससे रिप्लेस कर दो, you will get the answer. So I am still not sure that 45% people have attempted this question and only 19% people got it right. Now this is, I don't know, or because it was theta, then people marked it randomly. Because of that, the accuracy can be low. Shuku sir, what's your take?
Yeah, I think ये number theory छोड़ दिया, right? I mean, the moment you look at a question and say ये तो number theory का question है, छोड़ दो. ये जो I think probably people would have, even that 45% not doing itself is a low attempt, right? I mean, इस question में नहीं करेंगे तो और कौन सी question करेंगे? But what is shocker obviously is I think मुझे लगता है कि ये जो 45% भी ये fake number है. If only 19% have got them right, right? I think लोगों ने तुक्का लगा दिया है. कभी कभी वो नॉन एमसीक्यू में हमको पता नहीं चलता है कि किसको मालूम है किसको मालूम नहीं है.
Pranav is saying कि log लेके he has taken the log and that was the shorter approach. Pranav, I completely agree with your point कि log लेके और जल्दी आ सकता है, but the thing is I am not worried about the approach. I am worried about this thing कि this question can be solved by log as well, लेकिन इस question में शायद log की जरूरत नहीं. ठीक है.
It is not, I mean what, ठीक है. Okay, fine, move on.
This one. Sam can complete a job in 20 days when working alone. Mohit is twice as fast as Sam and twice as fast as Aina. Now this is actually very standard question of I would say time and work. So time and work mein we have seen a lot of questions of these type. They undertake a job with an arrangement where Sam and Mohit work together on the first day. Sam and Aina worked on the second day. Mohit and Aina worked on third day, and the 3-day pattern is being repeated जब तक काम नहीं हो रहा. ठीक है. So basically, I am going to say कि यहाँ पे I am going to assume क्योंकि ये 20 है, ये thrice as fast है. So what I am going to do, I am going to assume work as 60. If you want, you can assume work as something else. It will work. Now, Sam can complete the work in 20 days. तो Sam 20 days में काम कर रहा है. So इसका मतलब Sam's efficiency is 3. Mohit is twice as fast as Sam. मतलब Mohit की जो efficiency है that's going to be 6. And Mohit is thrice as fast as Aina. So Mohit is thrice as fast as Aina. Then I would say efficiency of Aina is this. Up on the first day, Sam and Mohit are working. Then Sam and Aina are working. Then Mohit and Aina are working. So basically, दो लोग काम कर रहे हैं. So Sam and Mohit are going to be 9. Sam and Aina are going to be 5. And Mohit and Aina are going to be 8. So in 3 days, total 22 work हो रहा है. Right? And total work हमको करना है 60 करना है. So अगर मैं 22 के आसपास जाऊं तो लगभग तीनों लोगों ने बराबर काम किया होगा. अक्सा आई एम टेकिंग दैट एज 60 क्योंकि यहाँ पे टोटल 20 डेज हैं, यहाँ पे ट्वाइस है, यहाँ पे थ्राइस है. सो बेसिकली आई एम जस्ट गोइंग विद अ कंफर्टेबल नंबर दैट इज एलसीएम ऑफ 22 and 3. गॉट इट अक्सा? उससे अगर मेरी वैल्यू थोड़ी बड़ी भी आ जाती है, लेकिन उससे मुझे मेरे पास एक चीज की गारंटी होगी कि मेरे पास फ्रैक्शन में नहीं आएगा। कोई जरूरी नहीं है कि वर्क मैंने स्मॉलेस्ट नंबर में लिया होगा, हो सकता है मेरी वैल्यू थोड़ी और बड़ी आ जाती, बट इट वोंट मेक इट। तो अगर तीनों लोग 22 अगर तीनों लोग इक्वल काम कर रहे हैं तो तीनों लोगों ने, मतलब अगर 22 और 22 काम हो रहे हैं, इसका मतलब सबने इक्वल इक्वल डेज काम किया है, राइट। इक्वल डेज काम किया है तो इसका मतलब इक्वल फ्रैक्शन काम किया होगा, राइट। सो बेसिकली व्हाट इज द टोटल एफिशिएंसी? 3 + 6 + 2 दैट इज 11। आउट ऑफ 11 सैम कितना कर रहे हैं? 3/11, राइट। अब बेसिकली सैम का जो टोटल कंट्रीब्यूशन होगा, लेकिन टोटल काम 66 से कम है, तो सैम का जो टोटल कंट्रीब्यूशन होगा वो 3/11 के आसपास होना चाहिए। 3/11 का मतलब आई वुड से 27-28%। ये तो अपना क्या कह रहा है, ये अपना कह रहा है कि 20%, ये तो नहीं हो सकता, ये 5%, ये भी नहीं हो सकता, 3/20 दैट इज 15% नहीं हो सकता, एक ही ऑप्शन बचा, आगे करने की जरूरत ही नहीं है इसमें। सो अगेन दिस इज ए स्टैंडर्ड जुगाड़ क्वेश्चन जहां पे आप ऑप्शन देख के कर सकते हैं, लेकिन अगर एक ऑप्शन होता 25%, एक ऑप्शन होता 32%, then perhaps I would have not been doing this what I have done right now. So for me it is definitely going to be a round one question, क्योंकि इसमें ये बहुत ही ज्यादा स्टैंडर्ड टाइम एंड वर्क का क्वेश्चन है, जो हम लोग अगर आप कोई भी क्लास करेंगे, कोई भी प्रैक्टिस करेंगे, ये तीसरा, चौथा या पांचवा क्वेश्चन होता है इस टाइप का जो हम करते हैं। सर व्हाट्स योर टेक ऑन दिस?
तो एक और तरीका मैं जो सोचता हूँ, ठीक है, सैम एक दिन में 5% करता है, अगर वो 20 दिन में खत्म करता है, मे बी यू कैन जस्ट राइट इट, probably you can use a different font color to write it. तो सैम एक दिन में 5% करता है, 5% ऑफ द वर्क। तो मोहित करेगा इज ट्वाइस एज फास्ट, तो 10% करेगा।
मोहित 10% करेगा।
मोहित इज ट्वाइस एज फास्ट एज सैम एंड थ्राइस एज फास्ट एज आयना, तो इसका मतलब आयना 6.66% करेगी, सॉरी
आईना
3.33, 3.33% करेगी। तो इफ यू टेक ए 3 day thing, right, there will be 10 plus 5 plus 3, that is 18.33 into 2, right, because हर बंदा 2 बार काम करेगा, right, so that's about 36.5% ले लीजिएगा, right. तो ये हो गया पहले 3 दिन, अगला 3 दिन 36.35, राइट। और जब दोबारा सैम आएगा, राइट, सैम इज गोइंग टू, बेसिकली यू कैन सी दैट बचा है आपके पास अबाउट 28%, 27%। तो सैम इज गोइंग टू वर्क ऑन 2 days फॉर श्योर, क्योंकि 2 दिन में आपका 28% खत्म नहीं हो रहा। सैम प्लस मोहित इज 15, सैम प्लस आयना इज 3.33। तो सैम तो बेसिकली इन ऑल पुट टुगेदर इज गोइंग टू वर्क ऑन 6 days, विच मीन्स वो 30% करेगा।
राइट।
तो आपको बस ये
सो
चेक करनी है कि सैम कितना दिन कर रहा है।
सैम कितने दिन कर रहे हैं? हाँ। सो अच्छा, प्रणव इज आस्किंग दैट व्हाई आई एम सेइंग, एंड शवांश इज ऑल्सो आस्किंग कि 83 डेज वगैरह होता। देखो प्रणव, अगर 83 डेज होता आई वुड हैव बीन टॉकिंग अबाउट कैट 25, ठीक है। नाउ 3/11 का लॉजिक मैं बता देता हूँ कि देखो सैम यहाँ कर रहा है, सैम यहाँ कर रहा है, सो सैम टोटल 6 यूनिट्स कर रहा है आउट ऑफ 22, राइट। So out of 22, he is doing close to 3/11. So my final answer is also going to be 3/11. Understood? Got it, Shravansh? Pranav, अगर 83 टाइप नंबर होता, perhaps I would have done it in round 3, not in round 1.
एंड ये जानना जरूरी है प्रणव कि in an exam they will not give all these random numbers. The objective is to make your life a little more easier, right. 83 ये random numbers, ये तुम लोग अपना intellectual curiosity के लिए कर सकते हो, बट नॉर्मली एग्जाम में नहीं आएगा उस टाइप का।
This one, again, I would say if you are comfortable with function, then this is going to be this is still going to be a round 2 question if you are comfortable with a function. If you are not comfortable with function, I would say it is definitely going to be a round 3 question. Round 1 like nahi hai ye. So there are two ways to solve this one. So I'll start with the first approach. So यहाँ पे दो possibility है. One possibility is x is greater than 2. Second possibility is x is smaller than 2. Greater equal बोल सकते हैं. ठीक है. So if x is greater equal than 2, then maximum of between x and 2, I am going to get value of x. यहाँ पे आ जाएगा x और 2 में smaller value क्या है? That is 2. So LHS becomes x minus 2. ठीक है. Now x 2 से बड़ा है, इसका मतलब this is going to be x plus 2 and this is going to be as it is x minus 2. ये कट गया. So I am going to get x minus 2 and that is equal to 4. So x comes out to be 6. सेकेंड केस ये होगा कि x 2 से छोटा है. अगर x 2 से छोटा है तो
x is equal to 2 भी दिखा दो. x is equal to 2 भी दिखा दो.
x equal to greater equal than 2 यहीं पे ले लिया मैंने.
हाँ, तो अगर 2 है तो लेफ्ट हैंड साइड 0 होगा, राइट हैंड साइड 4 होगा. वो रैंडम है, विच इज मैच नहीं कर रहा है. हाँ, ठीक है.
x लेस देन 2 का मतलब ये हो गया कि x और 2 में छोटा नंबर कौन सा है, सॉरी बड़ा नंबर कौन सा है. सो बेसिकली 2 बड़ा होगा एंड x और 2 में छोटा नंबर क्या है, दैट इज गोइंग टू बी x. सो दिस इज गोइंग टू बी दिस. Now x plus 2 definitely going to be, it is going to be x plus 2 and it is going to open as minus times x minus 2. Sorry, minus times 2 minus x. तो ये दो दो कट जाएगा and it is going to be what, 2x and I am going to get 2 minus x. So 3x comes out to be 2 and x comes out to be 2 by 3.
एंड इसमें एक और ऑप्शन है जो अब वो वाला भी दिखा दो शशांक, कि x plus 2 कैन बी नेगेटिव ऑल्सो, है ना. मान लो कि -10 आ गया x.
हाँ,
x plus 2. तो उसमें अगर नेगेटिव लेने से भी वो दिखाओ.
so अगर अच्छा ठीक है, so that is going to be 2 minus
x equal to
minus times x plus 2 and minus times 2 minus x. So यहाँ पे क्या हो जाएगा, that is going to be x get cancels out. I am going to get minus 4. So basically 2 minus x is equal to minus 4. So x is equal to 6. अब हमने लिए है कि minus 2 से छोटा है.
ये illogical है. Less than correct.
So it won't work like this. Second point is, if you know how to make a graph.
If you know how to make a graph, this is a simple, super simple question.
So mod वाला जो graph बनेगा, that is going to be this. ठीक है. और जो इसका ग्राफ बनेगा, that is going to be this and this. So there are
शायद हमको समझाना पड़ेगा शायद इसमें. At x greater than or equal to 2, right? You will find that your right hand side is going to be 4 and your left hand side will be equal to x minus
2x. So at x equal to 2 it is 4 and any number that is greater than, if I am talking about mod of x plus 2 minus mod of x minus 2. तो अगर x 2 से बड़ा होगा, so this value is always going to be 4. So the graph is going to look like this. और उसके नीचे ग्राफ is going to be,
नीचे ग्राफ ऐसे रहेगा,
2x हो जाएगा. And अगर x 2 से बड़ा है, then you are going to get x minus 2. X minus 2 is going to look like this. और अगर x 2 से छोटा है, then 2 minus is going to look like this. So दो intersection आएंगे इसमें. So now in this question, what I attempt नहीं होने चाहिए इतने. Attempts are higher because I would say that is more likely. This is definitely not a round 1 question. This is more likely a round 3 question if you are not very comfortable with concept of maxima and minima.
ये अटेम्प्ट इसलिए था कि तुक्का लगा के निकल गए लोग.
हाँ, लेकिन हाँ, बेसिकली इट इज थीटा में तो लोग मार ही देते. Now a trained train traveled. Again, this is, I would say, that is going to be a very tricky question. A
राउंड
train
3 होगा
traveled,
ना.
ये round 3 है. If you know how to approach these kind of questions, then go ahead, solve it. If you don't know how to approach these questions, then leave it. या तो मैं इसको राउंड 1 में करूंगा या मैं करूंगा ही नहीं. दिस इज नॉट अ क्वेश्चन दैट इज इजिली डूएबल इन द एग्जाम. सो बेसिकली एक ट्रेन जा रही है एक्स की स्पीड से, टी टाइम लेती है. अगर वो 6 घंटे ज्यादा होती तो टाइम 4 घंटे कम लगता. अगर वो 6 घंटे कम होती तो टाइम उसको
6
10
किलोमीटर
घंटे,
पर आवर.
6 किलोमीटर पर आवर ज्यादा होता तो, सॉरी, अच्छा ठीक है, कम होता तो टाइम 6 घंटे ज्यादा लगता. नाउ हाउ टू सॉल्व दिस क्वेश्चन, आई एम गोइंग टू से कि डिस्टेंस इज इक्वल टू, इसको मैं ए मान लेता हूं और इसको मैं बी मान लेता हूं. सो दिस इज गोइंग टू बी ए इंटू बी, मतलब x minus 6 into t plus 6, that is also going to be a plus 12 into b minus 10. अब जो डिस्टेंस है वो a का भी मल्टीपल है, a प्लस 12 का भी मल्टीपल है, a प्लस 12 का भी मल्टीपल है, b माइनस 10 का भी मल्टीपल है. इन दोनों का डिफरेंस 12 है, इन दोनों का डिफरेंस 10. इसका सिंपल मतलब ये है कि a 12 का मल्टीपल होना चाहिए, b अपना 10 का मल्टीपल. So basically, overall number should be a multiple of 120. I think the answer should be 720. लेकिन अगर doubt है, so what we are going to do? We are simply going to do one thing. We are just going to get some cases जहां पे 12 के multiple पे हमारी values match हो रही. अगर इस पे match नहीं करेगा, then I am going to leave this question. I am not going to solve this question anymore. ठीक है. So 12 into 60. Does it work? नहीं. 24 इंटू 30. सो 12 से 24, 12 का इंक्रीमेंट, लेकिन यहाँ पे 10 का डिक्रीमेंट नहीं हो रहा, मतलब ये नहीं हो सकता. 36 इंटू 20, मतलब यहाँ
इसमें
पे
इसमें
12
जस्ट टू क्लैरिफाई a is equal to 24, b is equal to 30, right? So I can see that a plus 12 becomes 36 and b minus 10 becomes 20. So these two are matching, hence this has to be your answer.
That's it. So if you understand this, then solve this one. Otherwise, this is not a question that is at all doable in the exam. So this is going to be either round 1 or round 3. Now, if I'm going to look at this question, I don't think I have any shortcut for this question. Very standard approach is there. Now, if you see, I'm very happy about this कि standard approach वाला जो question है, a lot of people have attempted it, and accuracy is also very high. So I'll just give you a gist of it, how you are going to solve it. कि इसमें just replace x by 1 by x. सजल अगर इक्वेशन क्रिएट किया है, करने लायक ही नहीं है वो क्वेश्चन. 3 इक्वेशन एंड 3 वेरिएबल्स नहीं करना है. हाँ, इक्वेशन करके हो गया जल्दी, देन इट्स वेरी गुड. So I am going to replace x by 1 by x, and that's it. So basically, I got 2 equations and 2 variables. Now I can calculate anything. Now, do I know any shortcut for this particular question? I don't know. Aprajito, F stand for function. So this is a standard question of function. So function ka is type of question. We have seen a lot of question of this type. So when you are going to study in this class, we are also going to do these kind of questions in the class itself. So this is a very standard approach to solve this question. तो इसमें आगे कुछ करना है नहीं. When you are going to do this, you are going to get 2 equations and 2 variables. Then you can solve and you can get every value that you like. Now this one. This is a very.
इसमें शशांक एक बार पीछे चले जाना.
हाँ.
लोगों को ये डाउट आ सकता है कि राइट साइड में x है, आप f of x कैसे पता करोगे. इसमें बेसिकली f of 1 by x को आप एलिमिनेट कर दो तो आपको f of x आएगा. इज सेइंग f of x is equal to 3, राइट? तो बेसिकली दैट इज व्हाट यू कैन डू. f of x is equal to 3, आपको f of 1 by x को आप एलिमिनेट कर दो, खत्म स्टोरी.
Now, this, if know the graph of this function. This is one of the standard graphs. So I'll tell you a couple of graphs. Mod of x plus mod of y is equal to a. This is a standard graph that you must know. Mod of x plus y plus mod of x minus y is equal to 2. That is a graph you must know. Mod
ये
of
तो पहले
y
कैट
is
में भी
equal.
आ चुका है ना, ये वाला ग्राफ। आई थिंक ऐसे वाला ग्राफ एक आ चुका है
हाँ
कैट में।
पहले भी आ चुका है, एंड 2017 में एग्जैक्टली यही क्वेश्चन आया था. Mod of
हाँ
x plus mod of y equal to 2. What is the area?
करेक्ट।
So basically, if you know this graph, I'll tell you a standard graph of this. That is mod of x plus y. मतलब ये याद कर लो, because you can't plot this graph in the exam क्योंकि उतना टाइम नहीं होगा. So basically, this graph looks like this. You just draw this, and the corner points are going to be a by 2, a by 2. So this is going to be minus a by 2, comma a by 2. So just mug up this graph and accordingly you can plot it. अब यहाँ पे अगर मैं ग्राफ प्लॉट करूंगा, so basically what I'm going to get corner points is 1, 1. Sorry, not 0. This is going to be minus 1, 1. This is going to be minus 1, minus 1, and this is going to be 1, minus 1. Now how many integral points? यहाँ पे ये 1 है, यहाँ पे यहाँ से लेके यहाँ तक कोई इंटीग्रल पॉइंट नहीं होगा. This is 0, this is 1. So I am going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 integral points. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Graph plot करके you can get the answer in less than a minute. Just a simple counting. Clear everyone? So graph याद होना बहुत जरूरी है. Now this is the question. Again, I would say that is, I would go for round 2. Not an easy question to solve. Or if you are not very comfortable with maximum in my set theory, then I would say this is a round 3 question. Not this is not a question that is going to click very quickly. ठीक है, और क्लिक करेगा तो भी बहुत जल्दी नहीं होने वाला क्वेश्चन है. बट इफ यू सी दिस, द डेटा टेल्स अदरवाइज. आई थिंक आई एम वेरी ऑफ द मार्क, क्योंकि मुझे जो आसान लगता है दैट इज एक्चुअली नॉट अटेम्प्टेड बाय पीपल, एंड व्हाटएवर आई फील दैट इज गोइंग टू बी लिटिल ट्रिकियर, एवरीवन इज अटेम्प्टिंग दोस क्वेश्चंस. So in a group of 250 students, so there are 250 students and there are at least 44% girls. इसका मतलब लड़कियां कम से कम 110. So I would say girls are greater than 110 and girls are less than 150. ठीक है, ये पहली कंडीशन गिवन है. The rest of the students are boys. ठीक है, each is, so basically I am going to say that boys are going to lie between. So जो लड़के होंगे, so अगर girls 150 हैं, then boys are going to be 100. अगर girls 110 है, then boys are going to be 150, 140. ठीक है. Now if so basically it says each student is opting for either one or both. ठीक है. 50% of the boys and 70% of the boys are opting for running. ठीक है, तो मैं सबसे पहले बॉयज का ग्राफ बना लेता हूं. दिस इज गोइंग टू बी 50, दिस इज गोइंग टू बी 70, एंड इट इज गोइंग टू बी व्हाट? दिस इज स्विमिंग, दिस इज रनिंग. तो दोनों का जो इंटरसेक्शन आएगा दैट इज गोइंग टू बी 20. सो फॉर बॉयज व्हाट इज द टोटल इंटरसेक्शन? दैट इज गोइंग टू बी 20% ऑफ टोटल बॉयज. ठीक है, so I got this. Now the question is asking about क्या कहते हैं, what is the maximum number of students who are opting for both? So I am getting 20% of boys. What about girls? So 80% of the girls are opting for swimming, and remaining how many? 60% girls are opting for what? Running. So इसका जो इंटरसेक्शन आ जाएगा 40%. So basically 40% of girls are going to opt for what? Opt for both. So 20% of boys, 40% of girls, and these are the people who are opting for both. Now if you have any confusion कि maximum कहाँ पे आएगा, minimum कहाँ पे आएगा, I would say don't bother. And why don't bother? डायरेक्टली एक केस में ये वाली वैल्यू डाल दो और एक केस में ये वाली वैल्यू, यू विल गेट द आंसर। तो मैं क्या कर रहा हूं, मैं सीधे सीधे ये वाला पहला वाला केस डाल रहा हूं। सो 40% ऑफ 150 इज गोइंग टू बी 60। श्रवांश, टोटल वैल्यू 100 है। टोटल बॉयज तो 100% ही होंगे, टोटल गर्ल्स भी 100% होंगे, राइट? So what is going to be intersection? So what is going to be 100? That is this plus this minus this. Is it or is it not? ठीक है? So basically 40% of girls are going to be 150, 20% of boys are going to be 100, 20% of 100 is going to be 20. So this value comes out to be 80. मतलब मैक्सिमम और मिनिमम मिला के एक वैल्यू तो 80 होनी चाहिए। सो कहीं पे हमको 80 दिख रहा है, दैट इज ऑप्शन 2 गॉट द आंसर। अंडरस्टूड? सो बेसिकली इज देयर टू मच टू डू? नो, बट इज इट गोइंग टू टेक सम टाइम? यस। So the reason I am saying it shouldn't be round one question, because there is so much calculation involved in this particular question. So I am going to go for either round 2 or round 3. ये या तो नहीं करेंगे या बाद में करेंगे, टाइम होगा तब देखा जाए।
काफी बच्चे इसको इसीलिए छोड़ दिए होंगे क्योंकि समझ में नहीं आया। जहां पे लगता है कि शायद हो जाएगा, छोड़ दो,
सर
कम बैक टू इट इन
छोड़ा
द
भी
राउंड
नहीं
2।
लोगों ने
अच्छा,
छोड़ा
लोगों
भी
ने
नहीं
छोड़ा भी
है।
नहीं है, करेक्ट। बट वैसे एक्यूरेसी ठीक है, यू सी दैट, आई थिंक।
एक्यूरेसी वेरी गुड। हाँ, if the average number of three distinct numbers is 28, ठीक है, average is 28, the smallest number increased by a and largest number reduced by 10, and order of numbers remains unchanged, the new arithmetic mean becomes 2. Again, I would say this is a very standard question of average, आसानी से कर सकते हैं। अपराजितो, इसीलिए प्रैक्टिस करना पड़ता है, ठीक है। So basically average is 28, so I would say sum is 84. ठीक है, there are three numbers, I would say A, B and C. Now A increased by 7 and C decreased by what? 10, and B stays same. So sum is going to be what? 81, and I would say average has become 27. Now the new arithmetic mean becomes 2 more than the middle number. इसका मतलब मेरे पास सीधे ये middle number आ रहा है, that is 25. So I got middle number is 25. ठीक है, so basically middle number is 25, so I would say A and C are going to be, the summation of A and C is going to be 59. ठीक है, so middle number is 29, this is going to be C, and first number becomes 59 minus C. What is the difference between smallest and largest number? Okay, now it says while the difference between the largest and smallest number becomes 64. तो यहाँ पे मुझे ये पता है, तो now it is saying this minus this is equal to 64. So C minus 10 is minus A plus 7, and that is going to be 64. और एक इक्वेशन ये है मेरे पास कि A plus C is equal to what? A plus C is equal to 59. So अब मेरे पास दो इक्वेशन है, दो वेरिएबल है। कैन आई सॉल्व दिस क्वेश्चन एंड गेट द आंसर? यस। तो क्या इस क्वेश्चन में इतना टाइम लगना चाहिए? थोड़ा सा लेंथी है, लेकिन आई वुड से दैट इज अ वेरी इजी क्वेश्चन, वेरी स्टैंडर्ड वन। सो आई वुड से इट इज डेफिनेटली गोइंग टू बी अ राउंड वन क्वेश्चन फॉर मी। Nothing much to do. Two equation, two variable. Just solve it and get the answer. Answer comes out to be, I think, 70. Now, this one. Gopi marks a price on a product in order to make 20% profit. मतलब गोपी को 20% प्रॉफिट चाहिए और उसने उस हिसाब से मार्कअप किया है। सो लेट्स से कॉस्ट इज 100, उसने 20% बढ़ा दिया, सो प्राइस हैज बिकम 120। अब ये कह रहा है कि रवि को 10% डिस्काउंट मिला, तो 10% 120 पे मिलेगा, मतलब अब उसका प्राइस हो गया 108। ठीक है, अब रवि को जो सेविंग हो रही है वो 15 की हो रही है। ठीक है, अब यहाँ पे इसका मतलब यहाँ पे अगर मैं देखूं तो रवि की जो सेविंग है वो 12 रुपए की है और गोपी का जो प्रॉफिट है वो 8 रुपए का है। मतलब गोपी का जो प्रॉफिट है वो रवि की सेविंग से कम है, तो इसका मतलब मेरा आंसर 15 से कम होना चाहिए, एंड दैट इज गोइंग टू बी ओनली वन ऑप्शन, दैट इज गोइंग टू बी ऑप्शन 1. आई होप दैट इज क्लियर. Okay, Himanshi. So wherever you don't understand, do let me know. I'll explain again. Sir, would you like to add something in this?
No, I think what you have done is good enough.
Now, this one. Now,
इसमें तो कॉन्सेप्ट मालूम होनी चाहिए लोगों को.
नहीं, लेकिन इसमें एक्चुअली this is the first page, as you have said, this is the first page of linear equation. Means no solution, unique solution, infinite solution. This is the first page of linear equation, and accuracy is 4%.
उसमें एक ही प्रॉब्लम है. द रीजन व्हाई आई थिंक इसका जो गलती हुआ है ना, ये नेसेसरी कंडीशन एंड सफिशिएंट कंडीशन में लोगों का प्रॉब्लम हो गया है, कंफ्यूजन है.
So what is the condition for no solution? So if I am going to say that a1x plus b1y plus is equal to c1, a2x plus b2y is equal to c2. So for no solution, it is a1 upon a2 is equal to b1 upon b2, and that's not equal to c1 upon c2. तो सेम कंडीशन यहाँ पे यूज करनी है, एंड दैट कम्स आउट टू बी p अपॉन 3, एंड दैट इज इक्वल टू -4 अपॉन k, एंड दैट इज नॉट इक्वल टू 2 अपॉन a. So I am just going to take 2 at a time. That is going to be pk, and that is equal to -12. So I would say pk plus 12, and that should be equal to 0. ठीक है, ये नॉट इक्वल टू बोला हुआ है, इसका मतलब ये कंडीशन ना तो सफिशिएंट है ना नेसेसरी है. Now I am going to look for another one. This first one and last one, I would say AP, and that should not be equal to 6. AP is not equal to 6. Now it says AP equal to 6. इसका मतलब ये भी गलत हो गया. और AP पे नॉट इक्वल टू 6 के अलावा वो कुछ भी हो सकता है, वो 2 भी हो सकता है, 3 भी हो सकता है, 10 भी हो सकता है, -5 भी हो सकता है. इसका मतलब ये भी गलत हो. Now that is, I am going to take this one. I am going to get -4a, and that is equal to 2k. So I am going to get k plus 2a, and that's it shouldn't be equal to, and that is equal to 0, and that is the only condition that meets. So answer, आप बस 3 केस बना के 3 इक्वेशन बना लो, देख लो जो मैच कर रहा है वही आंसर आ जाए. I would be worrying about necessary condition और sufficient condition जब मेरे पास एक से ज्यादा ऑप्शन मेरी कंडीशंस को मैच करेंगे. अगर एक से ज्यादा ऑप्शन मेरी कंडीशन को मैच ही नहीं कर रहे, तो why would I worry about necessary condition or sufficient condition? And the worst part is, out of 100, less than 2 people got it right. Now, this one, this is a geometry. Sir, you are saying something?
नहीं, ये तो स्टैंडर्ड है. आई थिंक इसमें इक्विलेटरल ट्रायंगल लेके चलना बेहतर होगा.
हाँ. So I got 3 triangles A, B, and C. Now midpoints of A, B, B, C, C, A are M and P. So A, B का हो गया M, B, C का हो गया N, and A, C का हो गया P. The medians are drawn from A, B, C. So basically midpoints है तो directly match करेंगे ही करेंगे. So basically this is going to meet this point, this is going to meet this one, and this is going to meet this one. And it says MP intersects at X, this intersects at Y, and this intersects at Z. What is the area of XYZ? मतलब इसका एरिया पूछा है. Oh, nice. ठीक है. So basically, I can also say that X is a midpoint, Y is a midpoint, Z is a midpoint. सो व्हाट आई एम गोइंग टू डू हियर, मैं यहाँ पे इसको एक जनरलाइज कर लेता हूँ कि अगर ये मिड पॉइंट है, मिड पॉइंट और मिड पॉइंट को ज्वाइन करूँ, सो बेसिकली दिस ट्रायंगल इज गोइंग टू हैव द रेशियो ऑफ साइड एज 1:2. सो एरिया इसका जो होगा वो 1/4 होगा. सो दिस इज द 1/4, दिस इज ऑल्सो गोइंग टू बी 1/4, दिस इज ऑल्सो गोइंग टू बी 1/4. तो टोटल ट्रायंगल का ये एरिया जो होगा दैट इज गोइंग टू बी 1/4 ऑफ टोटल एरिया. सो आई गॉट area of triangle MNP and that is equal to 1/4 of 1440. अब सेम लॉजिक मैं यहाँ पे लगा सकता हूँ. इसका मतलब ये वाला जो एरिया होगा वो MNP का 1/4 होगा. So what should be my answer? That is going to be again 1/4. So that comes out to be 90. So answer सीधे सीधे 90 आ जाएगा, कुछ नहीं करना. But you need to understand कि आप इक्विलेटरल ट्रायंगल लेंगे. सो इक्विलेटरल ट्रायंगल में अगर आप मिड पॉइंट को ज्वाइन करते चले जाएंगे तो आपको चार ट्रायंगल मिलेंगे.
बस,
और चारों का एरिया सेम होगा. सो यू कैन सॉल्व दिस बाय सिमिलैरिटी.
इसमें वो सिमिलैरिटी का भी जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी. उसको आप यू कैन सी क्वाइट क्लियरली दैट इट इज 4 डिफरेंट पार्ट्स, 4 इक्वल पार्ट्स. सो बीच वाला जो ट्रायंगल है 1/4 होगा. सिमिलरली उसी को आप एक्सटेंड करोगे, अंदर वाला भी 1/4 होगा. 1/4 ऑफ 1/4 1/16 हो गया आंसर. देन इट बिकम्स फेयरली इजी.
दिस वन, a certain amount of water was poured in a 300-liter container and the remaining portion of the container was filled with milk. ठीक है, तो मतलब कुछ उसमें वो डाला, मिल्क डाला और उसके बाद उसमें थोड़ा पानी डाल दिया. अच्छा नहीं सॉरी, उसमें कुछ पानी डाला और उसके बाद बचे हुए पे मिल्क डाल दिया. ठीक है, सो बेसिकली मिल्क में पानी मिला के टोटल 300 लीटर का सोल्यूशन. Then amount of this solution was taken out of container that was twice the volume of water that was poured into. ठीक है, उसके बाद वापस से, so basically it is a standard question of replacement. Now question is talking about finally 72% milk है. Now first of all I am going to be very clear about 1 point के value जो होगी वो तो integer होगी because this is a question of theta. Now what I am going to do, I am not going with 300 liter, I am going with 72%. 72% का मतलब अगर इनिशियली 100 था, 100 लीटर का मेरे पास जो आई वुड से जो कंटेनर था उसमें फाइनली 72 लीटर मिल्क बचा हुआ है और रिप्लेसमेंट के बाद. तो स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट क्या होगा? सो व्हाट आई एम गोइंग टू थिंक, आई एम गोइंग टू टेक अ वैल्यू ऑफ 10. सो मेरे पास 100 लीटर है, 100 लीटर में मिल्क जो है वो 90 है और वाटर जो है वो 10 है. 10 इज अ रैंडम नंबर. 10 से ये 20 नहीं होगा, ये मैं क्लियर हूं. क्योंकि अगर पहले पानी 20 है और उसके बाद आप उसको 40 लीटर पानी से रिप्लेस कर रहे हैं तो इसका मतलब मिल्क जो होगा वो आपका 72 नहीं हो सकता, मिल्क आपका बहुत कम होगा. सो इसीलिए आई एम स्टार्टिंग विद अ नंबर दैट इज गोइंग टू बी 10. ठीक है, अब मेरे पास जो मिल्क है वो 9:10 के रेशियो में और मैंने अब वाटर अगर 10 है, सो हाउ मच आई एम रिप्लेसिंग? आई एम रिप्लेसिंग बाय 20 लीटर्स. 20 लीटर्स इज 20%. तो मिल्क से जाएगा 18, पानी से जाएगा 2, and then I am going to add 20 liters of water. So what is the quantity of milk? That is going to be 72. What is the quantity of water? That is going to be 28. Does it match my value? Yes. So what amount of water I got? That is 10 out of 100. So out of 300, it is going to be 30. So what should be my answer? 30. स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड. और 10 लेके मुझे रफ आइडिया लग जाएगा कि मेरा अप्रोक्सीमेट आंसर कितना होना चाहिए. आई होप आई एम क्लियर ऑन दिस. सो इन थीटा क्वेश्चन, इन दिस क्वेश्चन यू डोंट नीड टू गेस एनीथिंग, यू कैन जस्ट assume a value, start the solution and get the answer. Now I would solve it either in round 2 or round 3. क्योंकि ये क्वेश्चन अगर आप इक्वेशन बना के करेंगे, this is not an easy question. This is a question of
इसमें अगर सोचूं, बिकॉज व्हेन आई लुक एट द नंबर 72 इज 80% ऑफ 90%, दैट इज 72%. ओके, तो अगर जो आपका जो आप जो कह रहे थे ना कि 90% लिया था, 90% होता तो वाटर वुड हैव बीन 10%. तो आपने सॉल्यूशन निकाला है 20% निकाला है, इसका मतलब 80% जो बचा हुआ है आपका मिल्क, so it becomes 80% of 90%, that is 72%. So that 72, if you factorize it, it will give you enough idea कि 8 into 9 or 9 into 8. You must break it into two numbers, right? 72, break it into two numbers, uh, one larger and one smaller. So I am thinking of writing it as 9 into 8, or 90% of 80%. So that when you factorize 72, it will give you an idea. Though, but I would still agree with you, Shashank, that if your concepts are clear, this could be round one. Otherwise, it's a round two or round three.
Rajesh Vimal owns 20 hectares and 30 hectares of agricultural land, respectively, which is entirely covered by wheat and mustard. ठीक है. The cultivation crops of wheat and mustard land owned by Vimal is in 5:3. ठीक है. The total cultivation area of wheat and mustard is 11:9. ठीक है. So for Vimal, it is going to be in the ratio of 5:3. This is what wheat and mustard, and the total I would say that is 11:9. ठीक है. So basically, I would say this is out of Vimal is 30, and this is what? This is out of 50. Now basically मुझे राजेश के लिए निकालना है, तो मैं बस निकाल के सीधे सब्सट्रैक्ट कर दूंगा, and I would say more likely my answer should be, I would say that is going to be ये वाली जो वैल्यू आएगी, मस्टर्ड वाली वैल्यू, दैट शुड बी मल्टीपल ऑफ 3 डेफिनेटली. So this and this are gone. So my answer is going to be out of these two. So this is what I can say. Otherwise, I would say this is actually very easy question, क्योंकि आपको सीधे रेशियो में ब्रेक करके ही आंसर निकालना है और कुछ करने की जरूरत नहीं है, राइट? So this question is definitely going to be a round one question, not a very difficult question. This is, I would say, for me, this is a round three question. This is a round three question. And the reason I'm saying it is a round three question, I am just looking at the option and I think I can't calculate the number till this point. Shiku sir, what do you say? Though it can be solved, definitely it can be solved. If you want, I can tell you how to solve this question. That it is in the denominator T2, T4, T6. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to simply place T n equal to 4. So I'm going to get T4. 4 minus 3 is 1. 4 minus 1 is 3. Into Tn minus 2. Tn minus 2 is going to be what? T2, and T2 is equal to minus 1. So I am going to get value of T4, that is minus 1 by 3. Then I can calculate the value of T6. Then again I can keep on calculating. But the problem is, look at the options. So more likely, even if I know how to solve this question, I won't do it. Sir, what's your take in this?
Absolutely. I think this is a question that ideally must be left in the exam, right? The the Yeah, go on. Move to the next one.
10 by 68 is divided by 13, the remainder. Sir, would you like to add something in this?
इसमें बेसिकली आई थिंक इसमें कोई यू डोंट रियली नीड एनी कॉन्सेप्चुअल थिंग्स, राइट? जैसे कोई थ्योरम्स नहीं चाहिए, राइट? तो व्हेन यू लुक एट समथिंग लाइक 10 to the power of 68, right? 10 to the power of 68 अगर मैं देखूं, मुझे मैं उसको लिखूंगा, let me write it as, let's say,
But
9.
don't you think, sir, don't you think the people should be comfortable with the concept of negative remainder?
No, if I don't know the negative reminders, no, what I would look at it as, suppose I write this as 9 plus 1 to the power of 68. ठीक है?
9 plus 1.
to the power of 68.
ठीक है.
Okay. So if there will be 69 numbers. Binomial का concept मैं लगा रहा हूँ. ठीक है. This will have 69 numbers, 69 terms. Every term is going to have
Except last term, there will be no power of 9.
except last term, there will be no power of 9. See, basically, I want to write it. The moment I see 13, no, I can see 27 is a multiple of 13 plus, so 26 plus 1. So the whole idea is all powers of 9, right? Okay, let's go back to the term that you've written, minus 3 to the power of 68. Okay, I will make it simpler. So minus 3 to the power of 6. What does minus 3 to the power of 68 mean? It basically means that we are writing this as 13 minus 10, 13 minus 3 to the power of 68. ऐसे लिखो. ठीक है. तो इसमें इसके सारे जो है टर्म्स कितने होंगे? इसके सारे टर्म्स होंगे 69 टर्म्स. सभी टर्म्स में 13 होगा एक्सेप्ट माय लास्ट टर्म विच इज minus 3 to the power of 68. तो minus 3 to the power of 68 को मैं अगर लिखूं, ठीक है, it is nothing but minus 3 to the power of minus 3 cube. Minus 3 cube लिखो to the power of 22. 3 cube into 22. हाँ, 22 into minus 3 squared.
Into 3 square.
Into minus 3 squared ना, minus 3 to the power of 68. हाँ, which is same as 3 squared. तो I can see कि मैं जो मेरे left वाला जो है that is 27 to the power of 22 और 27 to the power of 22 is 26 plus 1 to the power of 22. तो अगर आप 13 से डिवाइड करोगे this will leave a remainder 1 और पूरा जो नंबर देखोगे it will leave a remainder 9.
Okay. Sajal, what you are saying, Euler, you are going to use Eulers, but I would say that agar tumhe, if you want to use theorem, then I would say why not go for Little Fermat's theorem. So Little Fermat's theorem will do the job, but even if you don't know any of the theorems, I'll take a little different approach. 10 divided by 13, remainder is what? Remainder is 10. Fine. Himanshi, I'll come to that. Now I'm going to make a pattern. 10 square is what? 100. 100 divided by 13, remainder is 9. ठीक है. उसके बाद आता है 10 cube. 10 cube is 1000. I'm not going to divide 1000. What I'm going to do, 10 cube can be written as 10 square into
1001 is divisible by 13. अगर किसी को याद है तो इसका रिमाइंडर -1 आएगा.
I am just going to go by this. So that is going to give us remainder as -1. So at 10 power 3, I'm sure my remainder is going to be -1. So I'm simply going to make a pattern. So at 10 power 3, remainder is -1. So at 10 power 6, my remainder is going to be 1. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to write it as 10 power 6 power 11 into 10 power 2. तो यहाँ पे remainder हो गया 1. 10 power 2 पे remainder हो गया 9. So my answer comes out to be option 2, that is 9. So Sajal, definitely, I am not saying that you can't use 1001. It's fine, but basically 1001, I would say it's a good approach. But yeah, I would say it's a better approach. Otherwise, if you are going with theorem, then I would say go for Little Fermat's theorem. So Little Fermat theorem.
1001 वाला I think unique number है जो इनको पता होनी चाहिए शायद, right? 13 into
that is 7 into 11 into 13. That is.
That's right. If you know it, Sajal, I think it makes it very very easy.
And this 1001 is also used in the divisibility rule of 7, 11, 13.
Correct.
So ये आपको पता होना चाहिए. Now, this one, sum of all the distinct values of this, agar if you understand basic log. Now, when I looked at the question at first, I thought co-integral value hogi, but when I looked at the options, I realized कि log का question. Now, if I have to solve this one, what I'm going to do? So 4 upon 10 power x, and that is equal to 40.5. ठीक है. Now I know ये नंबर जितना बड़ा होगा वो ये नंबर उतना ही छोटा होगा. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to assume 10 power x is 40. Direct. Now I'm going to take log. So I'm going to get x log base 10, and that is equal to log base 10 40 directly. So I am going to get x log 10 40. Now that is the first thing I have done. Now why I have taken 40? Because I don't want to take 40.5. It's not a good number. Now in the second case, what I am going to do, I am going to take 4 upon 10 power x, and that's equal to 40. So what that is going to give me? That is going to give me, sorry, this should be 10 power x. So 10 power x comes out to be 1 upon 10. Now again, I'm going to take log. So I'm going to get log base 10, and that is equal to log base 10, 1 by 10. So I would say x is equal to minus 1. So I am going to get two values of x, or I would say, let me write it as log base 10, 10. Now I'm going to get two values of x. One is this, one is this. Now question is talking about sum of the all values. It means x is going to be log base 10, 40 minus log base 10, 10. So this comes out to be log base 10. 40 upon 10 comes out to be 4. So 4 can be written as 2 log. That's option 4. सीधे सीधे आंसर आ जाएगा. You don't need to make a quadratic equation. You don't need to solve the question. सीधे आंसर आएगा. Whenever you get a question of a plus 1 upon a, try this approach. But the thing is, remember one point, look at the options as well. If options are very close, you might not get the right answer. Sir, your take on this?
Yeah, I mean, I think the other way obviously is to look at the long method. The long method is if you know for sure ki I know how to solve the value of x, right? And you're able to, for example, if I were to solve this question, I will first reaction to me is to write it as a quadratic, get the value of 10 to the power of x, and then take the base, right? Base 10, you'll get various values, right? So 10 to the power of x का जो सारे जो possible values है 10 to the power of x1 and 10 to the power of x2, right? So if I multiply 10 to the power of x1 into 10 to the power of x2, right? What am I going to get? I'm going to get a value which is equal to minus 4, rather 4, right? 10 to the power of x1 into 10 to the power of x2 is 4. तो मेरा जो जब मैं log लेता हूं, I must get log. Think of 10 to the power of x1 into 10 to the power of x2, right? When you take log, you will get x1 plus x2. That should give you 2 log to the base 2. Log 4 to the base 10 is, so I will not solve this. My job is not to solve it. I know that the x1 and x2 values that you'll get, product of the roots must be equal to what is the product of the roots here? 10 to the power of x1 and 10 to the power of x2. ठीक है, तो आ गया 4, उसमें log ले लो आप, log to the base 10 हो गया आपका x1 plus x2 is equal to log 2. So I mean, it will still take me less than a minute, but I think this is conceptual, not the jugaad way to solve the question. But I know what mistake somebody will do is to try to find the value of a. I am not finding out the value of a. I'm just finding out the product of the values. What is a? 10 to the power of x1, 10 to the power of x2. Those are the values of a. तो ये करके आपका आ जाएगा x1 plus x2. इसका log ले लो आप. तो लेफ्ट हैंड साइड x1 plus x2 आएगा, राइट हैंड साइड log 4 to the base 10 आएगा. So that gives you the answer as 4. ज्यादा टाइम नहीं लगेगा, एक शायद 1 मिनट 1.5 मिनट लगेगा if you know how to go about solving it.
This one. Again, I don't think that why the attempts are very low in this particular question?
Very, very strange. 14% is very
Hmm.
strange.
लेकिन I would say that this is a very standard question that we have seen. अमन invested 4,000. अगर मैं by equation भी जाऊं, then I would I'm saying I won't use any jugaad. Even if I go by the standard things, I am going to get the answer very quickly in this. That is going to be rate of interest. Perhaps this was the end question. This might be a possibility. 4,000 1 plus r by 100 power 5, and that comes out to be 25 upon 36. तो यहाँ से सीधे ये कट के 2 आ जाएगा. So I am going to get 1 plus r by 100, and that comes out to be 6 upon 5. So that is definitely going to, so 6 upon 5, I can write it 1 plus 1 upon 5. So R1 upon 100 is going to be 1 by 5. So R comes out to be 20. So basically 4,000 है. अब ये ट्रिकी पार्ट यहाँ पे ये हो जाता है कि 20,000 से ऊपर होना चाहिए. तो इसका मतलब मुझे लगता है अटेम्प्ट कम होने का रीजन ये हो सकता है कि लोगों ने 20 तो निकाल लिया, लेकिन उसको बस 1.2 1.2 1.2 से मल्टीप्लाई करते चले जाओ. And trust me on this, in this question I would say just use the calculator, just keep on multiplying with 1.2 1.2 1.2 until unless you get a value that's greater than 20,000. So answer of this question comes out to be 9. A humble request to all of you, don't try to do it manually.
बिल्कुल.
Sir, you,
Yeah, I think the fact that calculator जहाँ पे use करनी है, don't use calculator everywhere, but जहाँ पे simple interest components questions है, most likely calculator आपके हाथ में बहुत, it will be very useful. So calculator कहाँ पे use करना है, कहाँ पे use करनी है, I think that must be judicially. एक भी मेरे हिसाब से एक rule है, very important rule. Unless someone remembers that 20% over 9 years, 20% over 9 years makes it go to 4,000 becomes 5 times.
Aprajito, I know the answer. I have to calculate actually. So basically what I can say, I can also say I will show you 1.72 728, that is 1.2 cube. So इसका जो क्यूब होगा, सो 17 का जो क्यूब होता है, आई थिंक दैट इज लिटिल ग्रेटर देन 5,000 और समथिंग. ठीक है ना?
17
सो
squared is 289 and it goes into 17. It will be just a little beyond. Right? Correct. Absolutely.
Now again, this question, a circular plot of land is divided into two regions by a chord length of 10 root 3. ठीक है? So I got a circular region. I got a chord length. And so basically in a question of geometry, whatever it says, what I do first, I just draw. So this is 120 degrees. This length is given to us as 10 root 3. And the question is saying, I need to find out the area of a smaller region, मतलब ये वाले region का area चाहिए. So basically, what is the area of this region? That I would say, area of this region is actually total sector area minus the triangle area. So this is what I need to find out. ठीक है? So मैं इसमें क्या करूंगा? So basically what I am going to do, यहां से मेरे पास एक क्लैरिटी आ गई कि मुझे सेक्टर एरिया में से ट्रायंगल एरिया माइनस करना है. तो ट्रायंगल एरिया माइनस करना है, इसका मतलब ये ऑप्शन तो गलत है, ये भी गलत है. So I am going to have either this one or this one. So what I am going to do, I am only going to calculate the area of the triangle and then I am going to get the answer. अब यहाँ पे मुझे ये गिवन है कि ये एंगल 120 है, this angle is 120, this is 10 root 3. Just draw a perpendicular. So this will be 60, this will be 30, and this will be 90. So basically this is going to be 5 root 3, this is going to be 5 root 3. So opposite to 60, I got 5 root 3. So opposite to 30, I am going to get 5. Opposite to 90, I am going to get 10. इस ट्रायंगल का एरिया क्या होगा? That is going to be half into base, that is 10 root 3, into height, that is 5. ये वाली है. So that comes out to be 25 root 3 और 25 root 3 इस ऑप्शन में बन रहा है. So answer comes out to be option 2. पूरा निकालना नहीं है. सो सब्सट्रैक्ट करना है तो उससे दो ऑप्शन एलिमिनेट हो गए. ट्रायंगल के एरिया से बाकी हमें पूरा निकालने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी. सो व्हाट डू वी नीड? only what is being multiplied, that's it. And even if you look at the bracket value here and here is same, so you just need to figure out which is this number, that's it. So सजल, I would say अगर कुछ triangles में तुम्हें एक तो देखो, I'll tell you one thing, in 30 60 90 triangle just remember the ratio, ये काम आता है. So in 30 60 90 triangle, the ratio of sides is 1 root 3 2. In 45 45 90 triangle, the ratio of side is 1 1 root 2. If you can remember these things, I don't think you are going to need a lot of sine or cosine rule. In triangles, you can work with these two. ठीक है, वो साइन एच बाई एच, साइन ए बाई ए इज इक्वल टू साइन बी बाई बी नहीं जाना है भाई. सर्वांश, आर वी क्लियर? अच्छा, so basically what is my area? So I need to find out this area. ये वाले पार्ट का एरिया चाहिए सर्वांश. Got it? So basically what is this area? That is equal to this sector का that is equal to ये वाले सेक्टर का टोटल एरिया माइनस द ट्रायंगल का एरिया. तो बेसिकली आई एम डूइंग टोटल माइनस ट्रायंगल. गॉट इट? सो अगर मैं ट्रायंगल को माइनस कर रहा हूं तो इसका मतलब इट शुड बी समथिंग माइनस. सो यहां पे प्लस का साइन है, यहां पे प्लस का साइन है, तो ये तो नहीं होगा. गॉट इट? Aprajito, if you can remember the ratios of 30 60 90 triangle and 45 45 90 triangle, तो उतना issue नहीं होगा. You don't need to get into depth of sine rule and cosine rule. Just knowing them and where to use them, it will help. But बहुत ज़्यादा वो नहीं करना है. अगर मैं क्या कहते हैं, if I'm going to talk about isosceles triangle with an angle of 120 degrees, the ratio of sides is going to be 1:1 root 3. Even if you don't know that, you can still use that 30 60 90 wala triangle.
If you know that, I think then your life is set.
Life is set or so with this we have covered all the questions, and the only thing you need to figure out, okay, what you should do in the exam, how to solve this question. So basically this is the last question, so I would say that is definitely going to be इतना आसान भी नहीं था figure out करना. So that is definitely going to be a round 2 question. There are not going to be a lot of round 3 question in this paper, but if you are going to get a lot of round 2 questions, that again going to be very tricky for you. A lot of round 1 questions, लेकिन हर question 3 मिनट ले रहा है, again that is going to be a lot trickier. So that you need to figure out.
In this paper, 37 was a 99 percentile last year. 37 or
let me see, I'm not sure.
I think 37 was 99.5 maybe, right? So I think the very critical thing is read choices along with questions. It's very, very crucial, because I think many times the choices will give you hints. I see students finishing all the steps and then going to the choice. Somewhere after the first 2 steps, even if you are somebody who writes steps, after the first couple of steps, take a look at the choice. Kabhi kabhi that suddenly says कि अच्छा ये तो you can straight away say that only this can be a choice given these steps that I've already put in. So intermediary look at choices if the idea doesn't strike you at the beginning, but reading choices as part of the paper, I think is part of the question is extremely important.
Lavanya, all the if I talk about all the resources, then I would say that previous year CAT papers are must. उसका कोई substitute नहीं है. There is no substitute. As well as I think we also give test series has a very good set of questions, as well as I would say daily dose is also have a very good set of practice material. So apart from that, sir, would you like to add something else
No, I don't
about
know
studying?
whether Lavanya is our student or a general student. If Lavanya, you're a CL student, and I all the things that Shashank mentioned, the topic test, the daily dose, the mock test that we do, right? All these are extremely useful resources. Apart from obviously the uh, CAT papers. If you are of any other, so yeah, so I think it makes sense, Lavanya. So since you are a CL student, daily dose very important, that keeps you, make sure that you do daily dose on a regular basis. Two, you make sure that all the mocks are done, right? Jitna bhi aap scared ho, please do it. And uh, I think टॉपिक टेस्ट बस ये आप कर लो, ठीक से कर लो, मेरे ख्याल से आई थिंक along with the mocks, I think that is good enough for you to do well in CAT. No question, I mean at this point in time I would say that आपको सारे क्वेश्चन समझना इंपॉर्टेंट है.
Lavanya, if you are looking for basic extra level question, I would say go for Funda books. Funda books covers variety of questions. I think you must have received those books.
Yeah,
Uh,
don't search around for too many books.
हाँ, वो क्लास सेवन्थ वाले बच्चे जैसी हालत होती है. देन you start saying के बुक्स चाहिए बुक्स चाहिए बुक्स चाहिए. Then you got a lot of books. Then you are not studying anymore. So whatever you have, finish that only. Pranav, yeah, calculation, you can decrease. I would say टेबल्स याद होनी चाहिए, क्यूब्स याद होने चाहिए, स्क्वायर्स याद होने चाहिए. उससे थोड़ा कैलकुलेशन थोड़ा फास्ट हो जाता है. ठीक है. बट व्हेन पीपल से कि टेबल्स कहीं काम नहीं आती, आई से आई यूज अ लॉट ऑफ टेबल्स. उससे अप्रोक्सीमेशन में बहुत हेल्प मिलती है. सो आई वुड से थोड़ा कैलकुलेशन को कम करो. एंड वंस यू स्टार्ट लुकिंग एट ऑप्शंस, देन आई डोंट थिंक यू नीड टू कैलकुलेट एवरी क्वेश्चन टिल द एंड. एटलीस्ट 6-7 क्वेश्चंस जो होते हैं वो आराम से ऑप्शन देख के एलिमिनेट हो जाते हैं. सो आई ऑलवेज
Gaurav,
टेल इन द
yes, sorry, Shashank says finish. I'll,
I always tell this in the class that my job is not to solve the question. My job is to get the answer, correct answer. In exam, there is no subjective approach. I am not writing 12th board जहाँ पे मुझे सब कुछ लिखना है, right? So, अगर if I am reading the options, I am able to eliminate 3 options, and that's good enough for me.
एंड अगर तुम अपना कैलकुलेशन स्पीड करना चाहते हो आज की डेट में, जो तुम सारे स्टेप्स लिख रहे हो, see if you can skip steps, in the sense that you're doing orally, because I have seen people write the step 1, step 2, step 3. Can you move from step 1 to step 3? That's the first incremental thing of doing oral calculation that you can do, right? And then you will be, if you can skip that, you will save at least 20% of the time. So the whole idea is you save 20% of the time, you can solve 3 more questions or 2 more questions.
And that's the journey from 95 to 99.
Yeah. Okay, guys, thank you very much. Right, and hope you found this useful. Make sure that don't give up. Right, I think whenever you sit and analyze your papers, tests that you have taken, you must ask yourself, क्या choice से हो सकता है एक question? क्या कोई दूसरा तरीका है? जब तक वो वाला attitude आप, if you don't kind of inculcate that aptitude, right, that attitude and aptitude, right, I think you will find it difficult to go beyond 7 to 8 attempts in the actual CAT paper, unless you're good.
And okay, so with this, let's wind up. Take care. Bye bye. Good night and
Bye, good night.
all the best. Chaliye.
Chalo, okay, bye.